Hello student, I Satish Pandey. Today we are going to discuss about the GDP and welfare. GDP and welfare both are interconnected. Many times we have listened about the various news about the GDP and government try to increase the GDP so that it can increase the welfare. But the question is that do the increase in GDP is always increase the welfare of the society or people? So this is an important question which we need to deal with, whether the increase in GDP is important to increase the welfare of the people or not. So let us discuss about it. Actually, GDP is the gross domestic product, the value of final goods and services produced during an accounting year. So it is the final value of goods and services when increase in GDP. The total availability of goods and services increases, and we assume that these goods and services are distributed equally among the people. So naturally, increase in GDP will ensure more goods and services for the people of a country. So it looks like it increase welfare. But at the same time, we need to see that how these goods and services are distributed. Then after we come to the right conclusion. So let us see how it can be distributed with the help of our textbook. So GDP and welfare. Actually, in the worldwide, it is measured as the index of welfare when Human Development Index published by the UNO. It also give a lot of emphasis on GDP of that country to measure the Human Development Index. So it has been widely accepted as a welfare tools for nation for its people. If a person has more income, he or she can buy more goods and services, and his her material well-being improve. That means his welfare improve. So it seems reasonable that the people of the country have more goods and services, but uh, given that distribution is proper and the generation of growth is proper, if it is not go in correct way, then welfare cannot be improved. So there are three reasons that causes increase in GDP not converted into welfare. So three reasons are there which force us to think that whether the GDP and welfare are interconnected or not. The first one is distribution of GDP. The GDP generated by the economy is distributed properly or not? This is important question. If it is concentrated in the hands of few individual or firm, just like if you think about in our country, Tata, Ambani, Birla, and few individuals, if most of the GDP part is goes to that people, the rest of the people, 95% people will not get anything. So increase in GDP is not going to increase the welfare of the people. Welfare, if the benefit of increase in GDP is enjoyed by few people and concentrated with few individuals, then for rest of the income maybe fact have fallen. Here it is one example given here. For example, in 2000, year 2000, there are 100 individuals in an economy. Suppose it is an imaginary country, not about India, which have only 100 individuals, and each one is earning rupees 10. So if there are 100 individual and each one is earning rupees 10, so what will be the total earning? 100 into 10 equal to 1000 is the total earning of the year 2000 of that country. In 2001, in the same country, suppose the income of 90 individual have fallen out of 100 to rupees 9 each, and the rest 10 individuals earning goes up to rupees 20 each, just double of rupees 10. So suppose there has been no change in the price of goods and services between these 2 years. We have to assume this. Then the GDP of country in 2001 is 19 into 9, 10 into rupees 20 equal to 810 plus 200, 1010. So this 1010 tells you that there are clearly increase of GDP, because GDP in 2000 is only 1000, but in GDP in 2001 is 1010. So there are clearly increase of rupees 10. Does this increase of GDP will show you an increase in welfare of the people also? But we know that 90% are not. Here I have given it in simple way. Suppose there are 100 people and 10 rupees earning for each in a country. So total earning of a country is 1000 in 2000, in year 2000. Now suppose in this, among this 100 people, 90 people have lower income than 10. Income goes down to rupees 9. So 19 people income goes down to rupees 9, but 10 people manage to increase their income from rupees 10 to rupees 20, just double. So 10 people income goes up to rupees 20. Now the total income of 90 people is 810, and the total income of 10 people, rupees 20 per people, is 200. So total 100 people of country earn 1010. So this earning in the year 2001. So this earning of 1010 in the year 2001 is more than the total earning of all the individual of a country, 1000. So there are clearly increase of rupees 10. But that increase, I know, you know that 90 people lose their income by rupees 1 each, because earlier they all are earning rupees 10. Now 90 people are earning rupees 9, although other 10 people have increased, managed to increase. So this shows the unequal distribution of GDP among the people. Most increase in GDP goes to the 10 people, and the 9 people are suffering. Actually their income have fallen. So if this type of distribution is there in the economy, compared to 2000, GDP of country are higher by rupees 10, but this is not distributed equally. And actually, in fact, 90% of the people of the country have drop in their income by 10%, from rupees 10 to rupees 9. This actually decreases the welfare of the economy for 90 people. So we as a people must think about the majority of the people. So increase in GDP here not increases the welfare of the people, because of the distribution of GDP. Distribution of GDP matter. Second thing is no monetary exchange. Non-monetary exchange are those exchange which does not involve the currency or rupees or notes or any coins. So that is called barter system. in developing countries like India, we have barter system in many front, in the remote area, in village area, in the tribes areas. They are still using barter system for exchange, and there are one drawback of the barter system, that it cannot be measured because of the lack of money, and it therefore, if it is not measured, it is not incorporated in GDP. So the area where such a non-monetary exchange happening is called informal sector, and in India or some developing countries there are many informal sector. We are paying wages of agricultural labor in the form of grain, so that is non-monetary transaction. It kind of barter system. But since money is not being here used, exchange are not registered in the account as a part of economic activities, and it is not included in GDP, counted in GDP. This causes cases of underestimate of GDP. So if even production is increasing in the informal sector, but because of the non-monetary exchange, we unable to measure it and incorporate in GDP, and that GDP not shows the actual growth of GDP. It may be that the welfare of people increases, but we could not measure it in remote area, and we are showing that welfare is not uh, increases so much. So it is underestimate. Last one is externalities. So externalities means benefit or loss of any activities, any production activities, without paying or receiving. So we generating the benefit, but we not receiving any payment for that, or we generating the harms, but we not paid for that. So here externality refers to benefit or harm. First we take the benefit. Benefit of a firm and individual causes to another for which they are not paid for any amount. Or we can say that harm, a firm causes to an individual or a group of people, but not penalized for that. So it will not increase the cost of that company. It is because the externalities do not have any market where it can be bought and sold. But in America, there are some market for externalities also, pollution also. You can purchase the pollution and you can do the pollution to that extent. But in developing countries and India, anyone can do the pollution without any purchase. So there is no market for externalities. Suppose a company, let us take some example. Suppose a company is a refinery company, may also polluting the nearby river, because this company is polluting the river, and it sell its refined product in the market. This causes harm to the people who use the water of river for drinking, bathing and other purpose. They are suffering from various diseases, and they spend a lot of money for the treatment of such diseases, although these diseases are caused by the pollution of river, which is ultimately caused by the company. So these pollution may also kill fish and organism in the river. So fishermen of that river are losing their livelihood because of the lack of fish in the river. So, such harmful effect that refinery is inflicting on others, for which it will not bear any cost, are called externalities. It is negative externalities. There are positive externalities also, but it is negative externalities because the treatment taken by different people with their own resources are actually the cost of company, and the fishermen lost their livelihood and income, that is also cost by the cost generated by the company but not paid to the company. So here, if any harm and benefit generated by any firm but not paid or received, that is called externalities. It is bear by the some external person. For example, in India, river is India Ganga river is polluted by the different companies and people, but they are not bearing its cost, and the government is spending crores arabs of rupees to clean it. That is the cost of those companies and the people who are polluting the Ganga. But this cost is beared by the government because they are not bearing the cost, although and they are not showing it their account also. So you can see here the example of negative externalities. There may be a positive externalities also. For example, there are a school in front of your house. So school have decorated and planted a lot of trees and plant and flowers outside your house, which causes a clean air for you. Or some government have established a park nearby your house, and you are using that park without paying. That is positive externalities. Or suppose a simple example, your neighbors have installed a LED light outside their house at their door for lighting the street. So the other neighbors living out other side are getting light of that without installing a bulb and without paying the electricity bill for that bulb, because this is paid by the neighbors. So other neighbors also enjoying the light on the street without paying. That is called positive externalities. So there are two externalities, negative externalities and positive externalities. Both are negative externalities and positive externalities. So we are not estimating it in our GDP. So there may be possible that there are a lot of cost which is not mentioned by the firm, and which causes harms to the economy and causes GDP to underestimate actually the welfare. So we are estimating only the production of increasing, but that if that causes pollution and the many people are suffering and bearing the cost of it, then that increase in GDP is not increasing the welfare of the people of a country actually. So these are the various three regions that why we can say that increase in GDP is not always converted into welfare of the people of society. If distribution is unequal among the people, if there are non-monetary exchange not accounted in calculation of GDP, or if there are negative externalities are more in the economy than positive externalities in the production of goods and services which is counted for GDP, then all the three will causes loss of welfare of society, and in this way GDP and welfare are not very much positively connected. If these things are happening, if the economy is able to reduce these regions, then it may say that GDP and welfare are connected, but most of the economy are suffering from these three problems. Okay.